I legit laughed out loud when I saw the title of today's episode that I'd planned. Talk about divine timing. You see, I'm over here celebrating my highest sales in a 30-day period, which occurred whilst I was taking time off with my daughter. And here I am now bringing you an episode on receiving more and working less. I wish I could say I'd strategically planned these two things coinciding. Let's be real though, I didn't. So, I'm all about energy over effort, and you've likely heard me banging on about how we really don't need to work more in order to receive more. But you wouldn't be on your own if you're asking, how though, Cori? How? Let me answer that for you today, my love, because this isn't about me. I'm just a useful case study. I want to help you work less and receive more. Seriously, it's why I'm here. You're listening to the Limitless Mother podcast. I'm your host, Cori Javid, money mindset expert, success coach, mother, tea drinker, energy obsessed manifester, afternoon bath lover, and thought leader in financial empowerment for mums. I know that we get to be successful because we are mothers, not in spite of it. And so around here, we do things differently. I've torn up the business rulebook and created a new paradigm for us, one in which we create results using energy instead of effort. I'm on a mission to help you ditch the old way of creating success. You know, the one where you work hard, hustle, and sacrifice, and instead teach you how to increase your impact and income without increasing your hours, and how to manifest your dreams. So, if you're a mother who's ready to learn how to elevate your energy to start making bank and start living your limitless life, this is your podcast, my love. And I'm your new biz bestie. Join me as we explore what's possible for us as mothers and business owners when we remove the limits. All right, my love, it's me. I always start the episode with, hello, limitless mothers. It's me, Cori Javid, your business bestie. But I just fancied starting with something different today. All right, how's it going? I've got so much to tell you. I don't know where to start. Where shall I start? Well, I'm celebrating right now. I wouldn't have actually noticed this. This is kind of like shocking to admit. I wouldn't have noticed this, but my coach just said to me a couple of days ago, I feel like you need to run your sales numbers for the last 30 days. And I was like, okay. It's not something that she tells me like all the time. And I did. And I was like, oh, she was right. So just for a little bit of context here, I don't often pay a huge amount of attention to my sales numbers. I pay more attention to cash received just because of how I operate the back end finances of my business. But it is useful to sort of see what cash flow is going to be coming in and is booked into the business, right? So I do it from time to time, but I'm just not kind of like obsessively calculating that number every month. So anyway, so I'm celebrating, and it is like, it could not have been, as you probably got from the little intro there, it could not have been better timing. And I really do wish, my love, that I could say, this was so planned. I predicted this. I decided I was going to make it happen. And then I made it happen. And I already knew that I was going to make it happen. So I planned this episode. None of that would be true. I just was merrily going about wanting to serve women in the way that I want to serve them, and therefore making sales as a result. And I'd planned this episode title with having nothing to do with this, of course, because I hadn't predicted it. It's just that I get questions about how to receive more and work less all the time. It's one of the biggest things I'm passionate about, teaching the women. It starts really, I lay the belief foundation for it in Limitless Money. There's a whole module in there on working less and earning more. But I really kind of like build on that and make it sort of just part of who we are inside of the Elevated Abundance Mastermind and the ladies that I work with there. It's one of the biggest things, like I said, that I'm really passionate about, helping women to lock in, because once you have that then it's yours, and I'm going to share with you how you can do it today. And yeah, so that like combined with like knowing how to sell, there's some of the things that I like, they're kind of like, it's almost like a skill, if you see what I mean. And once you have them, it just impacts your life and your business so beautifully, and no one can like ever take it from you. So anyway, I get questions about this. I coach on this all the time. It's one of my favorite topics. And so I'd had it in my podcast planner for 6 weeks, 8 weeks. What was that noise, by the way? Like a horse. 6 or 8 weeks. I don't know. Whenever I planned out this month's worth of content, and the stars just really aligned, because here I am, having calculated my sales, and this is sales. I want to be super clear. I can't bear it when people aren't clear about their numbers, and then can end up misleading people, whether intentionally or unintentionally. And I never want to mislead you. I always want to be transparent with you. I like to keep it real around here. So this is sales made, not cash received in my business. This is sales made, booked into my business. So it will be coming in. Some of it will have been received already. Some of it will be coming in over the next several months. So it's not cash received, but it is sales made. And so what it is I'm celebrating having made £69,000 in sales in 30 days. I know. Should we just let that sink in for a minute? £69,000, which I looked it up because I know a lot of you, my pals, over the pond, will better kind of know what it equates to you or elsewhere in the world if it's in US dollars. That's 95,000 US dollars. So, yeah, energy over effort for the win, because here's the thing. In the last 30 days, I've taken a ton of time off with my daughter because it's been the Easter break, which is a 2-week break here. And I've largely, although I've been dipping in to Voxer for a small parcel of time each day. Well, not every day, because I don't generally do Voxer on Mondays. I don't need to go into this with you anyway. Okay, sidetracked here. I've been largely working just 2 days, apart from dipping into Voxer on 2 other days, is what I was saying. So we've been working very little. And yeah, it's just such a perfect timing to be celebrating this win, because I've received more whilst working less. And you know, I have the tendency to do that. It's a habit of mine, a good one. And it's what I talk about all the time, but it's just so perfect, right? So here we are. I'm celebrating that. I'm going to be having, yes, some champagne tomorrow night, and some steaks. We already actually had the steaks and a get together with my parents planned in. My mum is celebrating some wins in her business too. So it seems like a really lovely thing to be doing. But how perfect, because here I am just providing you with that evidence. So that's why I bring you my money results, right? It's because, first of all, I think we need to be talking about money more and less afraid of it as a topic. You know this. But also, I really feel strongly about providing you with evidence of what's possible for you. There is nothing special about me. Well, you know, we're all special in our own ways, but there's nothing different about me that makes me more able to do this than you. Nothing. So that's really why I want to celebrate this with you, my love, and I want you to hear this. Now, if hearing that evidence of it being possible to book £69,000 in sales in 30 days whilst taking a ton of time off sounds amazing to you, and you're like, I need to be in that energy, I need some of this, then the obvious answer is to join the Elevated Abundance Mastermind, is it not? Right now, it's the only way that you can actually work directly with me. So here's what I want you to do. Head over to corijavid.com/elevate. Like I've mentioned previously, we are enrolling for September. Now, you might be listening and thinking, September, it's only April. I've got bags of time. Please don't delay, my love. I would hate to disappoint you. I already have people who have paid deposits and who are on the waiting list for September, and spaces are limited by the nature of the offering here. So what I would recommend is, even if you're thinking that there's a chance you'll be ready by September, even if you have questions and you're not sure if it's the right fit, that's exactly what these calls are for. So head over to corijavid.com/elevate, click on one of the green buttons and book in a call with me. It's very relaxed. It's very informal. You know, that's how I roll. We'll chat about where you're at in your business, where you want to go, and we'll see if the mastermind sounds like a good fit for you. And I will be totally honest, if I don't think it's like the best next step for you, or the right timing, etc., I will always say and tell you what I think is the best next step for you. I'm only looking for people to make empowered decisions that work for them, and I'm looking for women who are ready to do this, even if they're not ready yet, but I can be ready by September. So, and all you need to do if you do decide that it's the right fit and we both agree, then you just need to pay £250 deposit to secure your space. And that space is then yours, my love. So don't delay. I know it seems like, September, that's the other end of the year. It will come around quick. You know it, because there's only like the summer between now and then. And we all know how fast that goes. So corijavid.com/elevate, especially if you want to be not just understanding, but living the truth of receiving more and working less. It's kind of what we do in there, right? What else do I have to update you on? I'm doing a live stream. Let me see, as this is coming out this week, as you're listening, and it's on, I should have checked my calendar in advance, bear with. Oh, it happened today already. It's happening as this drops live. It's happening in 30 minutes. So if you're the kind of person who listens to this at 12 o'clock when the episode goes live, then get over there. But never mind, if you didn't make it live, if you didn't see me promoting it on Instagram or in the group already, or in any of the other places, then no fear, my love, you can go and catch the replay. It's all about how I handle fears and doubts in my business. And this comes from a Mastermind client question, which I absolutely loved. And I was going to answer it just for the Mastermind group. And I thought, actually, no, this is a really important conversation. So I would love you to join in over there. Head over to the Limitless Mother Facebook group and watch the replay. The other update I have for you, so many of you have been asking me about our van plans. So a bit of a van life update. There is really no update. We've heard a rumour. We're trying to confirm if it's true that the VW factory is closed for April. So there may be a delay in us receiving our van. So we're just kind of waiting for it to be built right now. But I've had loads of you say, yes, do start an Instagram account or a YouTube channel or both around it. Loads of you are really interested. So that's really exciting. And then the other thing that we're now thinking of doing, this is a slightly longer term plan, but having the van will actually kind of be part of it in a way, is we're obsessed with A-frame houses. I don't know if you know anything about A-frame houses, but we're quite like into sort of just house renovation, design, architecture, including my daughter. Like, she plays Roblox and Minecraft all the time, and the main reasons is she likes building houses in them. So yeah, we watched this documentary on this French lady who built her own A-frame house, and I love the simplicity of the architecture. Anyway, I'm not going to go into all the details, but that's something else that we're considering, is using the van to scout out places where we might buy a plot of land, maybe in the UK, maybe in Europe. We've even talked about Canada, and build ourselves an A-frame house. So not a kind of this year sort of plan, because we'd probably then live out of the van a little bit while we're building it. I don't know if we'll have it as a main property or a second property. All of these unanswered questions, but we're feeling kind of excited about it. Anyway, that's what's going on over here. Let's get into today's episode already, shall we? You're like, okay, I came here to learn how to receive more and work less. It's lovely that you're buying a van and potentially erecting an A-frame home, but let's get on with it. I hear you, my love. I will crack on. So let's just check in with where you're at right now in terms of receiving more and working less. I typically, when people come to work with me, because this is one of the things that really draws people to want to work with me, in particular because unfortunately, there aren't that many people out there teaching this model of success, this way of achieving more, receiving more, having more, doing more in your life, enjoying life more, without it having to come with long hours, sacrifice, and struggle. And so people who first come to me before we work on this together often fall into one of two camps. So I'd be interested for you to check in and see if you're in either of them. Maybe neither. Maybe there's a third camp that you want me to make me aware of. And it's this: either they're very much locked into the I need to work more hours in order to receive more paradigm, and find themselves often in what I've described before, and my phrase for this is the overwhelm loop, where you want to receive more, you want to earn more, have more, and the only way available that you see is working longer hours. So you work longer hours. It maybe feels exciting at first, then it starts to feel very unsustainable. You feel a bit burnt out, a bit overwhelmed, a bit frazzled, and then you pull back, and then as a consequence of being caught in this belief system, you don't earn or receive anymore. And that happens for a period of time until you get fed up and want to receive more again. And then you just go round the loop again. So if you've been there, you're not on your own, my love. I was totally there in the corporate space. That was basically how I existed, was in the overwhelm loop. I really didn't want to be scaling the corporate ladder. But I then would get frustrated with my earnings and the kind of like lifestyle that we're living and how I felt like we were always compromising and never had enough. And so I just spent years, maybe even a decade, in the overwhelm loop. So I've been there. And then there are people who fall into the other camp who they've just basically said they're not available for this idea of working more, which, yeah, I love that. And actually I've spent sustained periods outside of the overwhelm loop just in this as well. So I have occupied both camps, where, yeah, you've decided that you are just not available to be working all the time, possibly because, like me, you like spending lots of time with your family and you want to be that present kind of mother that's important to you. And then as a result, though, you feel like you've had to make your peace with just not earning more then. So have a think about if you're in either of those camps. Maybe you're over here. Well, there is a third camp because there's my way, which is not tying work or hours or action or hustle or efforting to having and receiving. Maybe you're already over here. Maybe you're over here on my side and operating my paradigm, in which case, yay, high five. But I'd love you to just check in with where you're at. And also, how does that manifest in terms of your experience? Well, you could well really be identifying with the overwhelm loop. And in the overwhelm loop, if you remember the scale of energy, if you're new around here and you've never listened to the scale of energy masterclass episode, I strongly encourage you to do that after this episode. It's a really great foundational piece that explains the energetics of everything that are kind of like that underpin everything that I teach and do. But in that scale of energy, the two lower energies, low energy and efforting energy, when we are caught in the overwhelm loop, we're basically cycling between those two. And so the experience is often very much one of like overwhelm and frustration and feeling like you're hitting a ceiling and you literally cannot see a way to earn more without trading more of your hours. And it feels really like I said, really frustrating. So that's one of the ways that it can manifest. And then in the other camp, if you're like just done with working more hours, but you've kind of sort of made your peace, and I say that kind of with air quotes, with earning less, because really often we've never made our peace with it and we feel kind of like just like we do desire more, but we tell ourselves that it's not available. So then we feel guilty for desiring more, and we become what can manifest here is becoming really disconnected with your desires because you're telling yourself that they're just not available to you, and you don't want to disappoint yourself by desiring those things, and you don't see how you can make them happen because you're not available to work more. So yeah, let me know if either of those resonate with you. But either way, if you feel like you really do want to receive more and work less, but you're having a hard time believing that it can be true for you, then you're going to love today's episode. Or even if you're already starting to believe that it can be true for you, you're starting to see some progress on the front, I think today's episode is going to definitely have some golden nuggets for you to implement and to make it even easier and quicker. And just part of who you are and how you operate. Because I feel like I've integrated this to the point in my life and business now that this is just how I operate. And this is just how, therefore, my experience is and how the world around me sort of assembles, if that makes sense. So I have this reflected back to me because it's now so integrated into my thoughts, my beliefs, my actions, behaviors, etc. So let's get into it. Let's break it down. And just in case you needed to hear this one more time before we dig into the how, newsflash, you don't need to work hard or long hours to receive more, my love. Working more is not the answer for us. Phew. Can we all just breathe a sigh of relief? Because I just feel so excited to always talk about this topic. Because we didn't grow up with people telling us this. I mean, maybe you did. In which case, tell me about it. I'd be really curious. But we largely grew up with people displaying to us working hard, sacrificing to receive. We were completely conditioned within this paradigm of you work hard and that's how you get ahead in life. So when we become mothers, we can so easily feel like we have to then choose because we don't feel available to work that hard anymore because, we want to also be mothers. And that's kind of one of the kind of like unique, unfortunate beliefs, this kind of compromise that's been sort of offered to us, but just through lack of any alternative. I mean, like our generation and maybe a generation or two behind us, when we have been able to work and kind of are expected to work and earn money, but still also want to be and or are expected to be present mothers as well. So we really kind of, if we're unaware of the paradigm that I'm about to talk about today, then it's horrible in many ways. And I remember feeling really like we fought for this at some points. And I felt guilty for feeling that way. I felt like I was being a bad feminist, right? But it just felt like we haven't really won when we are feeling like we're really trapped in needing to do all of the things, needing to still, in many households, do the lion's share of housework, childcare, and be earning 50 and contributing 50% or thereabouts or whatever. It just feels like a lot, and it feels like a lot of compromise. Whereas actually, we don't have to compromise, which is the great news, right? We don't have to compromise between working less and earning more. And that's been the biggest revelation to me, the most liberating and freeing. And that's why I'm so obsessed with talking about it. I'm like, yes, there is a different way. We get to do both. We get to take time off with our families and for ourselves. I mean, double yay. And we get to continue earning more through our businesses. So we have a really unique opportunity now. And I think that this online business world has made this possible. And that's why this paradigm hasn't existed previously, because I just don't think it was as possible potentially. So anyway, that's why we are where we are. But the newsflash is, just in case you need to hear it one more time, you don't need to work hard or long hours to receive more, my love. You get to receive more without working longer, without working harder, without hustling, without sacrificing, without falling into the overwhelm loop. So let's talk about how. I have 5 things to share with you, and they need to be done in this order for this to be your truth. Number 1, and do not pass go until this work has been done or at least started. You have to believe it. You have to believe that you can receive more and work less. Otherwise, it will not be your truth. If the truest of truths for you feels like the only way for you to move forward and earn more in your business is by working more, then that will be your experience, my love. That will be your experience and your reality. And that sucks. I don't want that for you. So the very first and most foundational thing, and it just literally will not happen otherwise, is you need to work on this belief. You need to undo that societal conditioning, that cultural conditioning we've all had imprinted upon us, that hard work and long hours are the only answer and are some kind of measure of success. And here's the thing, when we choose to do it this way, when we choose to go the non-efforting route, then it can actually feel kind of triggering. So it's okay if that feels true for you, which is why it can be so useful if you're really serious about having a business that allows you to receive more and work less. That's why it can be so useful to have support, the support of other people around you who are working on their belief and integrating and already in the belief of this being true makes a massive difference. Having the support of a coach that can hold you in that belief and help you integrate that belief is so, so fundamental to this. Because the tricky thing is if you're trying to start operating your business in this new paradigm, this new model, this new belief system alone, and every single person around you is operating in the old model, it's really, really hard. You can feel like, am I a crazy person here? Am I just, as one of my clients said to me the other day, am I just like a dreamer here? Because you can feel like you're going against the grain of society, because you are. But that's a beautiful thing, and it's really liberating. And guess what, there's no medals for going along with all the others who are working really hard to receive more, or not working really hard and then not receiving more. We don't have to do either of those things. There's no reward, there's no validation from it that we think that there's going to be, right? So The first thing we need to do is to undo that conditioning. So to really look at the belief system that you hold around here, look at the evidence that you grew up with, and start then, once you've been able to shine a light on what you've been believing around working, needing to work more to receive more, and how that's manifesting uniquely for you in your life. Once you actually are able to see the connection between your current belief system and your current reality and experience, then you have the power to do something about it. And so I would always suggest starting with gathering evidence. Look around you for examples of people who you resonate with. That's a really important part. They can't just be like, stock market guy Dave, who's doing this. Not actually the stock market guy Dave. Be a really bad example because they work really hard. Anyway, I can't think of a good example on the spot. You know what I mean. Somebody that you just don't resonate with. It's worth finding examples of people that you really resonate with who can expand your view of possibility. Because if you're trying to do this whilst just looking perhaps around you at examples that just support the old belief system, then that's not going to be super useful, right? If you want to use me as an example, that's the very reason why, and pretty much the only reason why I share my money wins and about how little I work on this show, is because I'm committed to being that case study, that evidence for you if you want me to be, and if I resonate with you. So I would gather evidence, at least 3 people who you can see are doing this too. Like I said, if you can surround yourself with more people, be part of a group of women who are committed to this, create your own group, join my mastermind, whatever works for you, but be around other women who are committed to believing this and having it as their truth. It shortcuts this so much and it makes this so much easier. And I can tell you that from personal experience, because I've been both unsupported in this and supported in this. And let me tell you, when you're supported in this, it is so much easier to integrate this belief and to then show up like it's true and have it be true for you. And that would be number 1. You have to believe it. So you have to work on your belief system. Those of you who are Limitless Money students, there is a module in Limitless Money about working less and receiving more. Listen to it on repeat as a way of like reprogramming that. Obviously, my Elevated Abundance ladies already know what we do to work around this, and they get bespoke, tailored help. But if you are in Limitless Money and you're listening, definitely go, and even if you've listened to it before, re-listen and really look at your own beliefs around here and start unpacking them and start integrating new beliefs around. I don't have to work longer or harder to receive more. I get to work less if I desire to, or work the same amount of hours if I desire to, and receive more. So that's number 1. You have to believe it. And nothing else will happen from there if you don't believe it, or if you're not at least actively working on the belief. You don't have to wait for the belief to be fully installed for this to start being true for you. So I just want you to understand that, but you have to be working on the belief. Number 2 is you have to feel worthy of it. So this is interesting. I had an email, actually it was from a Limitless Money student. I think it was only last month. And she was telling me, she was sharing one of her aha moments. By the way, I absolutely love it when you ladies send me those mindset shifts and aha moments, as well as obviously the money ones. But I love those most because those are the things that stick with you forever then, and you get to keep leveraging that new shifted belief perspective, etc. And she was telling me that she was in the camp of having let go of this idea that she needed to work a lot in order to kind of be achieving. But she hadn't worked on her belief of yet, and she didn't know to until she went through Limitless Money, and it helped her shine a light on this, was that she didn't realize that actually the reason why she wasn't earning more currently whilst working less was because she had a belief that if she wasn't working a lot, then she didn't deserve to earn more. And I see this one again and again, this deservingness and worthiness of desiring more, first of all, and receiving more is one of the biggest energetic blockers that I see to women receiving more. It's not that you don't know how or don't have the wherewithal or the tenacity to make more money in your business. It's often that you're not feeling worthy of even desiring more in the first place and then receiving more. And I so feel you on that. And again, that's not your fault, my love. That's down to how we're conditioned. We're so conditioned to believe that we're not worthy. And I've done whole episodes on this, and again, we have modules on worthiness inside of Limitless Money, and we work on worthiness inside of the Elevated Abundance Mastermind. But it's really worth, once you've looked at what your beliefs are, it's really worth having a look at what you are feeling worthy of receiving. Because we get and we manifest what we feel deserving of, what we believe can be true for us, and then what we believe we deserve. So that is definitely the second step there. Look at what you feel worthy of. Do you feel worthy of working less and receiving more? Does that trigger anything for you around worthiness? Because often, because of societal conditioning, parental conditioning even sometimes, just how we've been brought up, that we can feel that if I'm not working more, it's wrong for me to receive more. It's wrong for it to be that easy for me. It's wrong for me to receive money with ease when there's people working really hard in the world. So on and so forth. So if any of those are resonating with you, those are some things that need to be unpacked, undone, and definitely start working on bolstering your worthiness. At the end of the day, my take on it is we just are worthy. You just are worthy of receiving whatever it is you truly desire, like those soul-based desires, my love. You just are worthy. There's no worthiness committee in the sky. There's no one actually keeping tabs on, well, you did this thing, so you're worthy of this little bit here, or you didn't do that thing, so no, you don't get to have that. It just isn't the truth, but it's how we're made to feel. And as soon as we start working on our worthiness, actually, it's a really beautiful thing, because then we see that all of these things can start coming to us with so much more ease, because we'd been sort of unwittingly, energetically repelling them previously. And now when we clear up that resistance to having them, because we feel worthy of them and able to receive them without triggering that kind of worry about worthiness, then it just comes in with so much more ease. And actually, it's really, the sort of extra bonus here that I love about work on worthiness is that it's so impactful on our kids, because then we get to model that worthiness to them, and we want that for them, right? We want them to feel worthy of having desires that come from their soul and feeling worthy of making them happen and receiving them. And we have to model that to them, right? We need to give that example to them, because we didn't often grow up with those examples. So that's number 2. You've got to work on your worthiness around it. Number 3 is if you want to receive more and work less, then you need to be energetically open to receive. So this is actually the kind of combination of the previous 2. Once you are believing and worthy, then at an energetic level, you are more open to receive. And you need to have no resistance to the thing that is, whatever is the more that you want to receive. You need to feel able to hold it. So the worthiness, for sure, that we just talked about is part of it. But what I'm talking about here as well is that often when we get really clear on what does that more look like to you, what really are the specifics, why is it important to you, not just a vague, I'd like to earn more, but how much more and why? What are the emotional reasons around that? Why is that compelling to you? How is that going to add to your life and the richness of experience in your life, etc.? Once we get really clear on that, then sometimes we can notice that we have certain triggers that come up around actually receiving more. So typical ones that I hear from business owners are, actually, if I receive more, I'm worried that I will then end up accidentally working more or needing to work more to serve more people in my business. That's a really typical one that I hear. Another one is feeling guilty with having lots of money, or feeling like I'm bad with money, so I don't trust myself to receive lots more. So there's all sorts of different nuances there of resistance that we can hold to actually having the thing that we want. It's kind of like one of those annoying things that we can, if you think of the thing right now that you most desire receiving, when we're talking about receiving more, what does that mean to you? If you think of that and just hold that in your mind right now. If I said to you, if I could give it to you tomorrow, how would you feel? A lot of us will have the knee-jerk reaction of saying, yeah, well, of course I would just say, yes, please, thanks. But actually, if you really sat in that for a moment, sometimes there's resistance to actually having it. If there's not, amazing. You get to kind of skip through this step, but it's really worth having a look at whether or not you're holding any resistance to having the thing or things that you actually desire here, whether that's money or something else associated with that you want to receive. Get really clear on what it is, what it means to you, and then also put yourself in the position of that coming true for you today. Does anything come up? Does anything trigger? If so, that's your work to do, is to go and clear that resistance. And then number 4 is, once you've done this, so you've been working on integrating this as a belief, you have been working on your feelings of worthiness, and you have been clearing any other resistance that you have to receiving or holding or having the things and the moreness, let's just use that as a word, then your job is to show up like it's true. This is that real energetic embodiment piece where you are embodying the energy that you've created and cultivated through this belief and worthiness, and showing up with that. And it's infusing your decisions. It's infusing your actions. It's just emanating from you. That is that magnetic energy that attracts to you that more. When you are in a place of believing, of feeling worthy, and you are clear of resistance, wow, it makes you really magnetic. And the thing is, you don't need to be believing it 100% of the time. You don't need to be feeling worthy of it 100% of the time. You don't even need to be feeling clear of resistance 100% of the time. We just are looking to tip the balance. So never misunderstand me on that point. I think sometimes the inner work can sound a lot harder. And I know that often when you're trying to do this alone, it can feel harder. But actually, it's just about tipping the balance. And so often, even just setting the intentions to tip the balance can be enough, and you can see things happen so quickly. I always marvel at how people can just, I can feel and see in the clients that I work with, that energetic shift, and then whoosh, things come flooding in. So yes, but back to this step, you need to show up like it's true. Even when, and here's where you actually make the most headway on things like this, and it actually helps you to further integrate the beliefs and the worthiness, is showing up like it's true, even when it feels like it's not. Now, I'm going to be real with you. This is the hard part. This is the part that I do a lot of support around in the work that I do, because showing up and acting like this is true for you, showing up from this place, from this energy, until it becomes second nature, until it becomes kind of easier and more normal, and until we've built it as a habit. It feels uncomfortable at first. I'm just not going to lie to you about that. And that's why it's really great if you've got somebody who can, be supporting you and cheering you on and doing this, and expecting you to show up like this, and telling you that you're not crazy for showing up like this, and reminding you and bringing you back to this energy anytime you veer off course. And then it makes it so much easier. But really what you want to be doing is showing up at first, particularly while you're doing this work, and while you're working on integrating this belief that you get to receive more and work less. It can be uncomfortable at first. Now, it's only uncomfortable, in the moment for a few seconds, actually, while you're making that choice of, what do I want to do today? Or what am I believing to be true? For example, in the moment where you've told yourself that, I don't know, maybe part of you working less is logging off every day at 3 and not opening your laptop again. I don't know. Let's just make something up here, right? Maybe that's true for you. And then you make this decision. You've been working on your belief that you get to receive more and work less. You've been working on your worthiness. You've been working on your clearing any resistance you have to receiving more. And then the next day, it's 3 p.m. You close your laptop. Maybe you go and collect your child from school, and you come back and your fingers start drumming, and you're like, oh, but I think so-and-so might have emailed me, and I do have that thing, and the kids are watching TV right now. I mean, I could just get half an hour of work done. I could just, if I got that done today, that would actually make a ton of sense, because then tomorrow I wouldn't have to do it. It'd be even easier for me tomorrow to finish at 3, and you start negotiating with yourself. And the part of you that is stronger at first, because we've been so conditioned to believe that we need to work more to receive more. It's trying to drag you back to its place of comfort, where it's very familiar. It's like, no, don't do that thing of showing up as if this is true. Come over here. Come to the old way that we've always been operating. It's more comfortable to always operate. Open up the laptop. Do an extra bit of work. And it's going to be really strong in that moment. If you can catch yourself in that moment, and again, we're humans, having a human experience, it's never about being perfect in 100% of these cases. If you can catch yourself in that moment and go, oh, that's my old conditioning trying to pop back up. No, delete, unsubscribe, opt out of that. What would the me who believes that she gets to receive more and work less do right now? How would she feel about this? And if you can make a decision in that moment, embodying that energy, showing up as if that's true for you, even if it doesn't feel true for you, that's when you're really making some wins, my love. Because in that moment, you show yourself a few things. You show yourself that you can do things that actually feel hard in the moment. You show yourself that you're okay with the short-term discomfort, which leads to the long-term gain. You show yourself that you are acting in accordance with your new belief system, which sends feedback to your brain, self-signaling that this is actually true for you. And it helps to solidify that belief. It helps to integrate that belief. And you are now living the life where you are not working more to receive more, right? Because you are resisting the temptation in this instance to power the laptop up again. Does this make sense? So it can feel hard in that moment, but it's like a fleeting moment, but it's that crossroads. Do I choose my old way of operating or do I choose my new way of operating? And I get it. This can be challenging for us as business owners because the thing with business is it's never done. There is always more. And that's why it's a really important skill. Just as a side note, to learn how to be able to switch off and take downtime and not give in to temptations to just do a bit more from like a place of impulse. It's different if it's from a real place of inspiration, but that's another topic for another day. But we're never done in business. So if you always are feeling like you should be doing more, it's really not a very healthy energy to be operating in. And I get it if you're there right now, but what I really want you to hear is that doesn't have to continue being true for you, but it comes from showing up and making these choices in the moment. So that's step 4. And then step 5, and I've kind of talked about this throughout, but there's no way that I would be here receiving more and working less if I didn't have support. And I just want to be really frank with you about that and really honest. Like, I'm not doing this alone. And you already know if you've listened to any episodes before, because I'm very transparent about this. I have a great team supporting me. I have an amazing coach supporting me. I have an amazing mastermind that I'm part of. And I couldn't be doing this I wouldn't be at this point in my business, hands down. There's just absolutely no way. I may have even given up a while ago if I didn't have that support network around me. Now, I didn't build up that support network from day one. I hired my coach first, my VA, OBM second, and built out that support from there. But what I really want you to hear is that trying to do this alone just isn't possible. This is one of the kind of caveats of operating in this model. If you want to receive more and more in your life, if you want to feel limitless in terms of what is available to you, and you don't want to feel like you have to work long hours or hustle or sacrifice to make it happen, you're gonna have to get okay with being supported, my love. There just isn't a paradigm that I know of in which you get to work less, receive more, and do it entirely solo. It just sounds miserable trying to make that happen, if you ask me. Trying to do it solo just sounds miserable to me from where I'm sitting right now anyway, because I'm so sold on being supported. And I'm now at the place where I adore being supported, and I'm always asking myself, how can I be supported even more? And now I understand that I have done the inner work to get here. And that we, again, are so conditioned as women to do it ourselves. We feel that there is a badge of honor awaiting us for just getting on, not asking for anything, not needing anything, being low maintenance, not encroaching on the people around us, not asking for support, not investing in ourselves, not investing time in ourselves, only doing things when it doesn't inconvenience others. I mean, I could go on, but I get it. We're so conditioned on that front. I've totally been there in the past. But I've really worked on this. And once you unlock this, though, then it becomes like, it's almost like a once and done thing. I think once you finally allow yourself to be supported, then you're like, you get a a taste of it and you're like, oh, that feels amazing. Yay. And then from there, then you're off and away. And also, I think like allowing myself to be supported, yes, benefits me, but it benefits so many other people because I'm so supported, I'm able to support my clients and students so massively. And I'm able to hold massive space for them and be really all in with them, which is the only way that I really like to work with people, right? I like to just be really there for them. And I couldn't do that. I couldn't make that kind of an impact and help the women that I help in the way that I do if I wasn't supported, right? It just wouldn't be possible. I'd be so fried energetically. And I get to do it and do it kind of with a sense of ease and just pure enjoyment because I'm so supported. So it benefits outwards in that way, in the impact kind of ripple effect. But it also benefits in the kind of like other direction as well, because in the securing of the support, obviously I am redistributing some of the abundance that I'm receiving to my team, to my coach, etc. And so that actually creates wealth for others, for other women, and contributes to that kind of economy too. So I'm like a big supporter of support. Anyway, but that's the thing that I really want you to hear is, and like I said, I will just reiterate, I didn't secure all of the support day one in my business. My first hire was coaching support. And then I've built my team out over time from there and stepped into a higher level of support with being in the mastermind that I'm in. But that's happened over time. And so I want that to be kind of like very clear. However, what I don't want you to hear or take away from this is, oh, well, of course you have a lot of support because you're making a lot of money. Yes, I'm making a lot of money, but I'm making a lot of money because I have support. It's that way round. I've always secured the support before the money was there. Now, that's another whole other conversation, but I'm just a real advocate of being really frank about these things, that if you're a mother and a business owner like me and you want to be receiving more, creating not just income, but impact, because I know that's what we're about around here, right? Creating really great impact and income, then you need to have some kind of support. There's just no two ways around it. So stop struggling alone, my love. If you are, reach out to me or to somebody that can support you, and it will feel so much easier to be able to receive more and work less. Trust me, I'm living it. I know it to be true. And this is what, the women that I work with know to be true as well. So those are the 5 steps. Let's just recap. Number 1, you got to believe it. Number 2, you have to feel worthy of it. Number 3, you need to be energetically open to receive. So you need to clear any remaining resistance. Number 4, you're going to have to embody it. So from there, you show up like it is true. And number 5, be supported in it, because like I've mentioned throughout, going against the grain of our conditioning isn't always an easy task to do alone. And showing up for those moments when we feel a wobble and we want to slip back into the old efforting paradigm is harder to call ourselves out on. It's harder to even see that we're doing it sometimes on our own. It's really useful to have somebody reflecting that back to you. And just generally operating in this model, if you're doing it in a total silo and without people around you who are doing it too, it's a lot heavier lifting, my love. This is why I'm such a fan of the power of the collective energy, because I find it so easy to believe that I can be creating more and more in my business, in my life, because I'm surrounded in the mastermind that I'm in with women who are doing the same. It's such an energetic hack. It's such a hack for the inner work. You don't have to do tons and tons of journaling, visualizing, integration, etc. When you are part of a group of women who they're just like, well, this is just what we believe around here. You're just like, oh, okay, cool. We just believe this. It's like really infectious, and it's a real shortcut. And ultimately, as long as it feels true for you that you do need to work more to receive more, then that will be your truth. But I'm really hoping that today you've seen that you totally have the power to let go of that old conditioning, let go of that old belief system that is not serving you. If it's feeling true for you, let's be honest, it's not serving you, right? And you get to come and operate with us, and by us I mean all of the women who listen to the show, we're all buying into this in some respect, right? So you're probably somewhere on the scale of buying into this, but you get it to be your truest of truths by working on these 5 steps. So go and start implementing these 5 steps, my love. Let me know how you're getting on with them. Send me an email when you start putting these in place, or if you've had any ahas or shifts. I love receiving those from you. support@corijavid.com. I will personally reply. And one of the things obviously that I was mentioning to you, I should have mentioned this earlier, but hey, I remembered before we've wrapped up, so we'll go through it now. Is, I was saying about gathering evidence. When you're gathering evidence of that supports this new belief that I get to receive more and not need to work more. Obviously you can use me if that feels good as a case study, but I have like umpteen case studies. I work with women who do this, so I'll just share one with you now. One of my clients recently celebrated her biggest cash month to date. I think it was more. I'm pretty sure it was more than a 5-figure month. I should go back and check that, but it was a very healthy sum of money. And yeah, I feel like it was more than 10K because she hit 10K before that. Anyway, this same client had been taking off a lot of time in her business over that same month. So she was working less and she received more. And now this was a particular win for her because that undoing that paradigm, it felt a bit sticky for her. And it's something that we talked about a lot, and she kind of just saw it to be true with her own evidence in a really big way. She'd seen it in smaller ways, but in a really big way across this like entire month of working very little, spending lots of time with her family, and just enjoying her life. What happened was as she then relaxed energetically, was really open to receive. And also we'd done all of these 5 steps right together. So she was like there and primed. But the beautiful thing is she then hit that tipping point. And I absolutely love that tipping point. And what I mean is that she had her own evidence now. So she'd been gathering a little bit of her own evidence, like smaller snippets. And like she has her, the mastermind group that she's in around her. She's in one of my 2 groups. And so she had all of that gathered, but now she has her own evidence, which is even more compelling. And once you have that locked in, like no one can take that away from you. Once you have that first real visceral almost experience of, oh my goodness, I just did it. I just earned more whilst really like relaxing, working less, having a great time, enjoying my life, enjoying my business, etc. It's just one of those pivotal moments, like a tipping point where you can't return from that in a really beautiful way because you're like, oh, this is it. It is true. This woman, Cori, has been right all along. I mean, I just love to be right too, right? And if this is really a thing, energy over effort is really a thing, that gets to be true for you forever then. Like she just locked it in forever in that moment. So I just wanted to share that story with you as well because, she was definitely, when she first came to work with me, she was definitely very much in the old paradigm of feeling like it was hours that were required to work more. She wanted to believe, which is why obviously she came to me, but it felt really sticky for her. And so I just wanted to share that with you in case that resonates with you, and also to let you know that this is why it's worth, making the commitment and showing up for these 5 steps, because once you hit that point that she just recently hit, then you have that kind of like beautiful, oh shit moment where you're like, oh, this is actually a thing. This gets to be my truth now as long as I choose for it to be. Yes. And it's just so liberating. It's like my favorite thing to see happen. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you in case that resonates. If you've enjoyed today's show and you're like, damn it, I need to be working less and receiving more, I would love to chat with you about working together. Head over to corijavid.com/elevate. If the Elevated Abundance Mastermind is looking interesting, enticing, or exciting to you, let's have a chat. Click on one of the green buttons, book a call with me. And if you want to find out any more about today's episode, you can do so over on my website, corijavid.com/podcast/work less. And until next time, my love, never forget, you are limitless. Bye for now. Have you been enjoying today's show, my love? Then help your business bestie out. Head over to iTunes now and leave a review. The team and I pour our best energy into bringing you this show each week, and so it would make us so happy to see your review. Plus, we are known to surprise and delight our reviewers, so if you take a screenshot of your review before you hit submit and send it to team@corijavid.com, I can guarantee a little treat will be winging its way to you.